Maybe we should bring in a sports psychologist.
Brought you a little something for your first day of work here.
I don't eat sugar.
Really? I've never met someone that doesn't eat sugar. Only heard about them. They all live in this godless place called Santa Monica.
So for starters, did you also binge Ted Lasso when it came out and became this huge beloved thing, or when did you get introduced to the show?
No, I got introduced to the show after I did an audition for it because my friend was like, "You need to watch this show. How have you not watched it?" And so then I thought, well, I'll do the audition, and then start to watch it afterwards. So I watched it bit by bit, and then I realized this show is really good. I need to be in this show. By the gods, let me please be in this show. So yeah, I was thrilled to bits when I got the part.
And when you got the part, how did you prepare to join the team, and how do you feel like your character fits into the world of Ted Lasso?
I feel like I got a lot of support, particularly from Jason. When I turned up on day one, he was giving me lots of ideas and, where the journey might take for her and, just little pointers in the right direction. He suggested some books I could read, not about sports psychology as such, but about psychology or about, yeah. So as the journey went on, it was just a great support system and always checking in and making sure, how do you feel about that? And
It's exciting that you had to read books and really dive into it to prepare, because it's such a serious subject being tackled on a funny show. And I was going to ask you about that because therapy, it's so important in this field, but it's not spoken about as much. So how did you guys approach the sensitive topics while filming, and what kind of messages did you want to send with that?
it's funny because when you're dealing with football, it's a largely male world, and to have this woman come in, and to be a part of that, and just the fact that she was, she felt that she was really good at her job and she wasn't afraid to say that. That was part of it going, okay, we can move forward with this. And I think it's interesting to look at. I don't know why that we still have reservations about it. But when you're dealing with like these physical athletes, that you're not thinking about how do you train the mind in being the best athlete you can be. So that's one of the things I find really fascinating about looking at. And I feel like Ted always touches in on that, like his quotes that he has in season 1 about being curious. His like poster on the wall saying believe. I think there's all that is part of it.
Talking about Ted, I feel like Sharon and Ted have such an interesting dynamic because they're both positive people, but Sharon has a calmer energy, and Ted is like full of enthusiastic optimism. So how do you guys find that balance in the show, and what was it like working with Jason to achieve this specific dynamic between you two?
It was kind of hard watching him because he's just so funny, and then
Yeah,
you
you have
start
been decisive
improvising.
throughout, which is very impressive.
Yeah, you wouldn't see that when they had to cut some of the scenes and stuff. When I was corpsing, just couldn't continue. But in the end, it actually became really easy to just watch him, observe him, and watch him as his character. And I have fun a bit trying to unnerve him a little bit as a character while he's, because he's such a wonderful actor. Like he's always responsive to what you're giving, or it's a real opportunity to play.
And then I love how they slowly infuse information about Sharon bit by bit to help us get her to understand where she comes from a bit. I really liked the cycle that she rides in on, for example. What was that like? How did you guys find it, and why did you choose to go with that?
It wasn't my idea because when I got the job, I got a phone call from costume going, "Oh yeah, we're just going to think about what costume you're going to wear when you're riding a bike." And I was like, "Sorry." And this was, I think there was a lockdown, and it was just before Christmas, and I was like, "Sorry." Like, "Yeah, you're going to be riding a Brompton." I was like, "I can't ride a bike." No, I don't know what happened in my childhood that I never managed to get on a bike. I couldn't ride a bike. So then when I turned up, I said to Jason, "I can't ride a bike," and he's like, "Hey man, you'll be fine. We'll get you a bike," and you'll. And so that was an interesting journey for me. I now have a bike, which is great, and much better than I was. Yeah, so
That's fun.
Yeah.
And then finally, Sharon really stirs up the world of the show a little bit because of her approach to her work and her approach to Ted. So how do you feel like the audiences will respond to this character, and what does your journey look like for the rest of the season?
I think the what's wonderful about Ted Lasso, the show, is that each time he just ekes out a little bit more information, and that's what I think you'll find in the second series as well. Like the more information you learn about Sharon, the more you'll learn about Ted, the more you'll learn about the team.
Yeah.
And I think that's the joy of this show. It's a slow pace, and there's so many more levels to find out about these characters.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm really looking forward to, how the characters start off one way and how, they go on a journey, they appear differently.
What's Ted doing?
Probably homesick. Closest thing he can find to a Dodge Ram.